I'm Dalton Tanonaka talking with presidential candidate Prabowo Subianto in his South Jakarta residence. Sir, let's get right to the heart of the challenge that you face in winning this election. Let's start with May 22nd, 1998. A book just out by another former general recalls the day when you went to see the new President Habibi. You're familiar with the book.
I haven't read the book.
Okay, but you've heard what it's about. Was this a coup attempt, as the book suggests, when you went to see the newly installed President Habibi?
If I wanted to carry out a coup, would I come alone to the presidential palace? I mean, you know, what coup d'etat in history of mankind is the leader of the coup coming alone to the palace?
You didn't have some of your men surrounding the office along with the other men of General Wirantos? No.
No. I mean, I came to the palace, I think, with two jeeps. But one is my own jeep, and one is my security detail. You know, and that's number one. Number two, I was commanding at that time 34 battalions of our Army Strategic Reserve. And I mean, you can ask all observers or all those who were in Jakarta at that time. I mean, I think there were no other force that had you know, any chance of combating me had I wanted to.
So you're saying if you wanted to have a coup, you would have done it?
Come on, commanding 34 battalions, that's the equivalent of three. And I think 3/4 of all the Indonesian armed forces were with me. They were all my friends, commanding Air Force squadrons, commanding the Marine Corps commander. You know, the Marine Corps, our Marine Corps commander at that time, from the Navy, he is now my campaign director, my national campaign director. I mean, that's how close we are. After so many years, he's still close to me.
Okay, now at that point, you knew your military career was kind of coming to an end. You saw the signs, and you saw how President Habibi was reacting to you.
Yeah, so I came there because I was very close to Habibi at that time. And he always said, you know, Prabowo, if you have anything, any doubt, or you want, you know, you want to ask questions direct to me, please come to me. So I came there, actually, informally, to ask him, you know, what's your decision?
And they asked you to remove your pistol. Was that a...
You know, that...
What is that story?
You know, the story, you know, it's Indonesian regulations. Indonesian Army regulations. You know, if you are going to meet your superior, you know, a sergeant coming in to meet his company commander would open his pistol belt. Even without a pistol, he would open his pistol belt. That's our standard operating procedure, is regulations.
Because the implication was they're afraid you might use it, right? That was the...
Yeah, of course, yeah, that's what they say. I mean, I think they were paranoid, or you know, maybe they had hallucinations or something.
So you went there, and why didn't you? Why didn't you take over or attempt to...
Exactly. It never even occurred to me to want to take over power through unconstitutional means. I mean, and then I was educated as a Democrat. I was, you know, I'm by conviction, you know, not by circumstance or by forced circumstance. I do believe in democracy. I believe democracy is the only system that can be used in the modern world. You know, what other system is there? You know, monarchy doesn't work. You know, oligarchies are unjust. It will result in revolution, dictatorship. You know, you can't control 220 million people. You know, 24 hours a day. You know, I mean, so the only viable system is my conviction. So, and I swore an oath as an officer since my youngest days to uphold the Constitution. How can I? And that's what I've been teaching my soldiers. For, you know, when I was a lieutenant, captain, all throughout my career, I've been teaching my soldiers, we have to uphold the Constitution. We have to defend the Constitution. And here I am, here, had I wanted to carry out coup d'etat, I would be violating the Constitution. I'll be violating the things that I've been teaching my soldiers, you know. I was concerned that whatever happened, the Indonesian Army, number one, must not be split. That's my conviction. Because I believe in the Indonesian Armed Forces is an institution that can hold the country together in times of crisis. And our history has, I think, proven that.
Did they give you the 2 weeks?
No. He said, no, I want you to step down today. So I said, well, if that's your decision, sir, I'll carry it out. And I stepped down without, you know, without any resistance, without any dissenting speech. I just went back to the Army Chief. I said, okay, sir, I've talked to the President. I've verified, yes, it's his decision. He wants me to step down. Okay, I'll step down. I just want 1 hour. Give me 1 hour to clear my desk. And then...
So you were a good soldier when you did that?
I think so.
Because if you really were, as critics say, a bad guy, you could have created a lot of problems, right?
I think so. 34 battalions, and you know, come on. You see what happened in Pakistan?
Of course.
When General Musharraf was fired, you know, by the Prime Minister, he took over. What happened in Thailand? General Sonti, he was fired by Thaksin, and he took over. And many of my friends, you know, the generals from other countries who knew me, they said, Prabhu, you're a stupid guy. You should have taken over, he said. For the sake of your country and your people. Sometimes I
You think about, sometimes you think about, should I have done that?
When exclusive Prabowo continues, the charges of human rights abuses, were the kidnappings justified, and was alleged torture under his order?
Exclusive, Prabowo with Dalton Tanunaka.
Let's go back a little bit, the kidnappings. You've admitted, I've read, to involvement in the detention of activists and students in the course of your job as chief of the elite special forces, Kopassus, prior to Suharto's fall. Why was that necessary?
Well, you know, under different administrations, different policies are being carried out, or were being carried out. I think it happens in all countries. So at that time, our overriding concern was stability. Stability, you know. And the fear was if there are destabilizing factors, we could disintegrate very fast, because we are a country of so diverse elements, so many races, so many religions, you know, and this was in the 90s, and I think that was the overriding concern of the Suharto administration.
So you pulled people in, questioned them, did you?
Yeah, so basically, you know, under one administration, it could be considered preventive detention, right? And in one aspect, you know, actually, we did prevent some of these activists. They were assembling bombs, you know. So and actually, perhaps in a different circumstance, we would be heroes. I would have gotten a medal or something, because my soldiers, you know, our conscience is very clear. We prevented bombings. We considered that we prevented bombings and arson, you know. But on the other side,
it's against the Constitution, isn't it?
Exactly.
So you were talking about earlier about
what do you
honoring
mean?
the
What do you mean? What do you mean?
Illegal detention or
no, and under the Suharto regime, the president had extraordinary powers given by our National People's Assembly.
Okay. So you were allowed to do it.
There was emergency power. But when Suharto fell, of course, a new regime was there. What was perhaps considered legal in a former administration, all of a sudden becomes illegal, and I had to be eliminated from the scene. You know, and
why?
I think they were afraid of me. You know, because I think I was very. I had strong.
What you would do or what you would say?
What I would do, I had strong support from the combat units. Okay. You know, I mean, I was a combat officer. I never spent time behind a desk. My whole career was in the field. I was on operations most of the time, you know.
Were victims ever tortured?
I don't know. I don't know.
You've
some
never,
of them,
you've never ordered the torture?
I never ordered the torture at all. Completely against my policy. And I think they do realize that I never ordered the so-called kidnapping, the detention. But once again, I had to take responsibility. That is the duty of a commander. I refused to have my soldiers, my officers, take the fall, and I faced the tribunal. I answered, because I think it was a political decision to get rid of me, actually. And I am an amateur historian. I do study military history. I realize, that was what happened.
Somebody had to take the fall.
Somebody had to take the fall. Somebody had to be the scapegoat. And
then I've heard.
But then the other way, on the other side is, now these guys are fighting for me. I always answer to some of these, foreigners or Westerners who ask us, put this in another context. Do you think somebody who came out of Abu Ghraib would ever campaign for the American government? Or somebody who got out of Guantanamo Bay would ever campaign or, would ever defend or ever fight for the American government? Put it in that context. But these guys...
You have two guys who...
three guys, yeah. And...
former kidnapped victims or in detention, and now they're campaigning with you.
They're campaigning for me. Okay. They're trying to fight to make me president. Because
they believed what you did at the time was necessary.
No, I think they realized that I was not responsible. I was not and I think they knew that I actually maybe, in the end, I saved them, I think.
From others?
From others, yes.
Coming up next, did Lieutenant General Prabol give the orders that sparked the violence against the Chinese?